You're going to find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races. Only up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haight deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin. But I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately, isn't it? What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Oh, that might go as a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well. Typical, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third. Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pite's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pite going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's just like trouble. He's like on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Bill Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah.
It's all about the entertainment.
So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunched up now?
Standing out from the crowd is a challenge. You have the passion, courage, and ambition to do something extraordinary. You have an awesome story to tell and a wonderful vision to share with the world. At Eddie Videos, we take that vision and turn it into reality so you can be heard above the rest. You need something different, and we give you the ultimate advantage. We can help you transform your ideas, images, and clips into a professional video that brings your message to life and sets a new bar for excellence. Visuals, voiceovers, editing, animations, whatever you need, we've got it all. If you're a new business looking to make your mark or an experienced company searching for something new and amazing, we're here to help. Trust us to take your video to amazing levels of awesomeness.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. They're going to toss it. They haven't got it. He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome to Monday nights. It can only be one thing. It can be the JPB Clio Cup Season 3, Round 5 from the Zandvoort International Circuit. I am James Parfitt. 2.82 kilometers in length here this evening is the newly scanned one, so we are going to see that new improved banking that has taken place. Let's have a look at the standings currently at the moment. David Ayres is out in front on 211 points with Paul Godden in second on 180. Andy Littler in third on 177 with Dan Lewis 169. Gary Walsh on 155. Edward Parfitt on 154 with Chris Dixon on 147. Roger Morton on 137, Sir Alan Toon on 82, Mick Barry there on 77 with Ollie Ricks, the last point scorer, on 50. In the teams, it is JPB Racing out in front on 323 with Work Guard by Result on 259. Tim Stickers on 180 with Spiral by Result on 127. In the pro standings, it is Pete Newman out in front on 206 with Adam Dalmont on 195. Brian Holmes in third on 163 with Adam McAnally on 155. Lee Dima in fifth on 141 with Carl Jacklett in sixth on 137. Craig Jones in seventh on 129 with Michael Seal on 113. Carl Hardy in ninth on 103, tied with John McCutcheon. Nick Crowber in 11th on 93 with Stuart Gibbons on 88. Then Charles Kellerman on 76. Lee Bowden on 52 and then Ches Rizzo on 46 in the pro team standings. It is Result X Pure Sims with Carl Hardy and Pete Newman on 309 with Fix Auto Aberdare in second on 296, not far behind at all. Then you got Result Clothing, Craig Jones, David Ayres on 269 with Fix Auto on 209. Safeguard by Result on 200 with Next Gen Racing on 195. Blade Designs 181, Result Clothing Red on 1545. And they are the last scorers here this evening. Let's bring Zach in the booth and have a chat with him. Good evening, young sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Once again, looking forward to some more Clio action because, well, it's my Monday evening now, essentially. It's probably one of the only good things about Mondays, and we get to enjoy them around a slightly different version of Zandvoort, of course, the club layout. So essentially, you do turn the hairpin, you run your way through the infield before you then turn off for turn 8. Just a little bit before that, you do a little bit of a hairpin, you're emerging on the exit at turn 11, and then you're straight lining it down to the chicane. So it should be fairly interesting, and I believe Zandvoort got a new rescan as well, which means we get the bankings.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, even better, because again, I think it is just going to allow these guys to follow even closer. The problem with the old Zandvoort was it was so flat. through the parts of the track where you want it to follow. Now, in these low downforce Clios, you can rely a lot more on the camber to carry the car through, which means we're probably going to see these drivers staying as close as they possibly can. You've got turn 1, which is cambered. You've then got 2, 3, 4, which is cambered, and then obviously the final corner, which is also quite heavily cambered. So yeah, these guys are relying a lot less on the car to sort of turn it, and more the actual track layout itself that's going to enable them to hopefully, yeah, stay really close together, follow quite nicely. What I am looking forward to as well is potentially some moves going into that hairpin, because there are a variety of different lines that you can take. Of course, you can sweep all the way around the outside. You can nip it tight on the inside as well, maybe in an effort to get a move done. So look out for that, particularly I'd say in the early stages of the race. But yeah, should be a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, it definitely should be, and one that I'm looking forward to see the banking here that's kicking in at the moment as these drivers are heading out around from turn 8 through 9 and 10 up into the start-finish straight once more. I think this track layout probably suits these cars. I think if we went for the longer one, it would have been a little bit more mundane and probably boring, to be honest. I think this layout itself suits these cars down to the ground.
Yeah, 100%. Again, it's the problem with the Clios is long tracks, right? Sometimes, you know, when you see the officials take them to places like Spa, and you just think, why? It's pointless. I'd say the long GP loop of Zandvoort wouldn't be the worst choice in the world, but I think the addition of extra high-speed corners, going obviously through turn 8, into sort of 9 and 10 as well, are a little bit sort of... I just don't think they'd suit the driving style needed for the Clios. I much prefer this, where sort of it's a shorter layout, as Pete Newman forgets what layout we're on. Look out for that. Probably a couple of people will. But yeah, the fact is that, you know, the corners that we have now got are going to be much more suited. There's a smaller amount of track, which means the times themselves should be a lot closer, because there's less corners to then actually make up that time. So yeah, I think in general, yeah, it's definitely going to be a better sort of venue. Also, we spend more time, you know, total percentage of the lap on a straight. We've now got the back straight towards the chicane. We've then obviously got the pit straight as well. So more time spent on the straight, more time spent flat out, more time in slipstream and things, which again will keep each other people close. So yeah, I do think it's the better of the two. Not necessarily out and out, but for sure, definitely in these front-wheel drive Clios, it is. Yeah, again, they're small cars, so they need to be on small tracks.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think small tracks all the way. We can bring you up the schedule while these guys are driving off around their outlap. Sonoma at round 6. Then we go to Barber, Zolder, Mid-Ohio, and the Sebring Club Circuit to round out the final round. Don't forget, guys, as well, the TCR season kicks off this Friday. If you haven't signed up, you can do. Head over to JPBroadcasting.com. Hover over the league racing and you'll see the join a league. Look for TCR season 2 and you can sign up that way if you want to get yourselves involved. There is only, I think it's 14 places left. So we're midway through. We've got the 25 cars for the season currently as well. But if you want to get involved, you can. GT4s are still open. There is obviously some places left in the Clios as well. If you want to join the Discord, head into the description down below, and there will be a Discord link that you can join and get yourselves involved if you want to. So make sure you do get yourself involved, because there is some epic racing coming up on the JPB YouTube channel here as well. But for now, it starts here tonight at Zandvoort. And then, as I say, tomorrow night we go to round 3 of the UK Sim Races for the Red Bull Ring. Then we're off to the BSC playoff, Las Vegas playoff round 1. It's the second round. It is the second round of the first draft of rounds. Don't ask, it gets complicated. Then we go to Zandvoort Fall for the GT4s. And we've got the Evolution round 1 live from Brands Hatch, Radical Race Series round 3 from Oulton Park. And then we're going to have the TCRs on the Friday. So busy day, busy week as always here on the JPB YouTube channel as well. These guys are just coming out. They're starting their first flying laps at the moment. The field is led by Carl Hardy and Pete Newman. Pete Newman always kind of gets out first here, Zach. I've never really seen him not be first out on the track.
Yeah, I think the thing with Pete Newman is he's not overly fussed about slipstream. He is one of those drivers that is just like, just give me some track and let me do my thing. Of course, he is with his Pure Sims teammate of Carl Hardy, which obviously will help, as one of them has quite a fairly big lockup going into turn number 1. But yeah, Carl Hardy may be working with Newman. Maybe they'll swap around. Maybe they just wanted to get away from everyone else so much so that they can have their own space in qualifying. But yeah, Pete Newman himself, he just likes to get on with it. And I think because he is so quick, it's hard for him to trust someone to work with the slipstream with. Obviously, he's got Hardy and Delmont, who are consistently probably on the pace with him. But no offense to the rest of the fields, Pete Newman, chances are, what he's going to gain from being in the slipstream, he's probably going to lose by the time he catches on to the back of the drivers in front. So for him, maybe it is actually just worth staying in clear air. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe I don't know. That might not be the case. That just is what it sometimes can potentially come across as. Which fair play to Pete Newman. He's an incredibly quick driver, and he's proved that already by being 4/10ths quicker than the rest of the field in the early stages of qualifying. Of course, Adam Delmont is going to be trying to bring the heat and close down that 11-point deficit he's got in the championship battle. But yeah, Pete Newman, he's as calm and composed as you'd like, even in the face of like difficulties. He shrugs it off and he carries on. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's the thing. He's ready to go, Pete Newman, all the time. We generally know that obviously he will go out and do the business. He is incredible at the reversed grid. He manages to cut through like an Iceman himself. He picks his moments, he takes his time, doesn't rush it, and then manages to get through and can be at the front of the field in the top 10 reverse and also the top 15. So he does a great job overall, and I think he's just kind of Mr. Consistent. So let's see how he gets on here tonight, though. Zach is going to play a part. We've only got, I think, there's 19, 20 cars on the grid at the moment, so a bit of a short field currently here as well. We know we've got Paul Godden, unfortunately can't make it due to work, and there's a couple of others that are unfortunately having to work, but it should be overall a very exciting race. The Clios never really disappoint, to be fair.
No, for sure not. I mean, they're the Clios, right? And we'll say it week in, week out. We'll say it until we're purple in the face. They're slow cars, but they are such good race cars because they're low power, low downforce, front wheel drive. They can have a little bit of a ding dong. They're pure cars. They're not, you can brake exactly where you can choose where you want to brake and you'll make the corner every time, and you can choose when to turn in and you'll have unlimited downforce. You really do have to drive these cars well, right? And I know that does sound obvious, but to be quick in these cars, you have to understand the basics and master the basics. Trail braking, being careful on the acceleration, trying not to understeer, especially because they are front-wheel drive cars. And then there's also sort of not necessarily driving the cars, but racing the race with the dynamic that we see in the Clios, with everyone so bunched up together, packs left, right, and centre, fights from first all the way down to 18th. The dynamic of the racing is absolutely so intense that it's such a different beast to conquer. So yeah, the Clios themselves are always a little bit of fun, and obviously with the reverse grid nature of it, the top 10 for race 2, top 15 for race 3 really lends itself to obviously promote that racing action. The calendar itself doesn't help, and most importantly, we've got a roster of incredibly good drivers who are all willing to try and take that to that top spot. Because again, even in the reverse grid races, even if you've got a driver who's nowhere near the championship lead, they will still fight for that win because they know that's their chance. They don't care. They will fight as long as there's no pushovers. There's no one just moving over and allowing them through. They all want to go and win. Unfortunately for Craig Jones, that was a little bit deep and he's tapped the wall, but he'll carry on and he'll probably be all right. We'll see, because he's a master of driving and he can never do any wrong.
Well, that's his instructions. Yes, not entirely sure that is everybody else's. As John McHutchinson comes over the line here as well, sporting a new livery this evening is John. and he stays in third place. We've got the newcomer of Jack Andrews. I want to give Jack a shout out. There's a reason I want to give him a shout out. He is only 16 years of age.
Oh, I'm not the youngest anymore.
Nope, he is 16 years of age, is Jack, and he is here this evening, bless him as well. He is, I've got to get this right, otherwise I'm going to offend him. Now, he is Carl Hardy's stepson. I say very, very precariously. Hold on, let me just confirm that. I'm sure he's Carl Hardy's stepson. Sure he is. Hold on, me and Carl have talked a lot this week, so I will need to have a look back. So, yeah, it's his stepson. It's his missus's boy. Basically, only joined iRacing last weekend. Or, yeah, the weekend before the 21st. So, yeah, last weekend.
He's quicker than Craig Jones.
And he's quicker than Craig Jones currently at the moment as well. So, Jack Andrews, stellar job for Jack. Well done to him as well. And that is exactly what Carl said as well. He said it's sickening at the moment because he's still faster than most people. So, yeah. Jack, they're doing a great job putting it at the moment. Jack is 5th in class. So, should be a nice little battle between the youngsters of Edward Parfitt and Jack Andrews. We'll see Roger Morton go over the line on a 1:19.554 as well. And Ollie Ricks for the Spiral by Result team is here once more as well. It's been interesting this week because my boy come out and Edward come up to me and was like, Dad, I love the circuit. I said, okay, cool. I said, how you getting on pace-wise? He said, I'm all right. He said, I think I'm all right. I know where I need to be. He's been practicing and he said I can get down to the mid-119s, high 119. So I was like, all right, okay, cool. Well done, you. And he's been practicing, bless him. He has given it a go this week and he's been putting in some hours. So let's see how the boy gets on. But I'm interested to see how Edward and Jack get on together on track, both having a combined age less than my current age.
That is... Yeah. See, because I make fun of it now, but there's going to be a day in my commentary career where that is going to be the case for me. I am going to be you at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, I would as well, mate. Thanks. Thank you very much. Right, the grid is going to be up for the opening round, and it is going to be Pete Newman on pole position, Adam Dalmont in second, John McCutcheon third, Carl Hardy fourth, and Carl Jacklet fifth. Then we've got the arms of Dan Lewis. Stellar job from Dan with Roger Morton there in second. Adam McNally eighth overall, Michael Sill ninth, Lee Deemer 10th. Then we've got David Ayres, Edward Parfitt, Charles Kellerman, Jack Andrews, Andy Littler, Gary Walsh, Craig Jones, and Chris Dixon. And then the last places are filled up by Sir Alan Toon and Ollie Ricks. But let's see what happens down into turn one, Zach. What are we expecting to happen down into turn one?
It's either going to be single file and boring, or we're going to have send central. I'd say the most amount of action will probably happen into the hairpin at turn 4. But turn number 1, it's a short run. If you can initially get a good launch, by all means, you could probably go for a decent move. The problem is it is a long way round on cold tyres. If you go for a move to the outside, chances are you're going to be meeting gravel. So I'd probably sort of be a little bit cautious. But Adam Dalmont, Zandvoort probably, I mean, in the Clios maybe not so much, but notoriously is a circuit that's a little bit more difficult to overtake. So he's going to want a good launch and get that inside line if he can in order to make the most of the early stages and see if he can beat Pete Newman.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens. We are not very far away. The lights are going to be coming on. Here they go for the opening round. The opening race of round 5. 5 lights, and we are green, green, green. Delmont got a start there as well. We got that Clio off the line. You can see them all rushing down into turn one. It's going to be Adam Delmont. John McHutchinson is also trying to follow the line through here once more, and they're all going side by side at the moment as they come on that run up through turn two. Newman gets it back. Delmont's got the inside line there, side by side as they round the turn three for the first time here this evening. Everyone through, Zach, and we've got the only movers in the field at the moment. Lee Deemer over Michael Sill. Oh, Delmont's gone round.
He's in the barrier after such a good initial start and such a good initial battle. As off you go, John McHutchinson. Oh, way too late on the brakes. Pete Newman and Carl Hardy now make it a Pure Sims 1 and 2. What has happened to Adam Delmont? How has it gone so wrong so soon? Could that be a championship defining moment for Pete Newman? He is just absolutely loving life. So this was the cutback I was on about. Oh no! Oh no! It was his fault.
Yep.
It was his fault.
Yeah, he come across the nose of Pete Newman there as well. We saw John McHutchinson go off. What has Sir Alan Toon been up to here as well? There's Delmont stricken. Carl, did Tooney miss the start? Or was he just all bunched up? Oh, he was just all bunched up, unfortunately, there as well for Alan Toon. Carl Jacklett fighting away with Carl Hardy for third place at the moment. He's making that move down into turn one. Is Jacklett going to get it? He's not this time, Zach, as well. Nice little battle through the field. The AMs are having a nice one as well. Roger Morton and Dan Lewis swapping backwards and forwards there. And now Dan Lewis is out in front, only just from Roger Morton.
Only just, yeah, not much in it whatsoever. These guys having an amazing battle, and you can already see what I was talking about, the difference in lines being taken as Roger Morton tries to go for the move on Dan Lewis. It is going to be to the left-hand side, which, as they run their way through the S's, will eventually become the outside. Bit of a lock-up from Lewis as Morton tries to go the long way round as a spin. McHutchinson again is off. There's contact potentially with maybe Lee Deemer, I think it was, that he came to blows with. He chops off the nose as well of Craig Jones and Charles Kellerman as he rejoins the circuit. Yeah, a little bit sketchy and not the best of initial launches to a race, and I'm sure McHutchinson knows that he can do better.
Oh no, Jack, the newcomer, the young man, what have you been up to, sir, as well? He's going down into turn 5. Oh, bro.
Oh, it wasn't even him. Oh no.
He was helped
You're learning the hard way, mate.
by Ollie Ricks. The problem is, though, Zach, he was alongside. Was it him? That's the thing. He's now going to be looking at going with Chris Dixon. Oh. Okay, well, Jack's giving it a good old go, but I've got a funny feeling there might be a conversation with Carl on that one, whether or not he should have left space. I think that's one of the things here as well. Andy Littler fighting out with Ollie Ricks and Chris Dixon at the moment, Zach, for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th in the AMs.
Yeah, beautiful battle going on at the moment. Cannot complain one bit. Littler, of course, is going to be looking quite eager to defend this place if he can. Of course, up an initial place on his starting position, probably due to Adam Delmont having such a stinker. Yeah, a couple of incidents that potentially could have been avoided so early on in this race, but we've still got plenty of racing to come, plenty more time to make amends. Nice double apex move there from Andy Littler. You saw he came in early, washed out wide a little bit, cut back in again and drove off. Very nice line, especially when it comes to defense, because it means you can carry both speed in and speed out. There's the move from Delmont trying to recover his way back to the front of the field. At the moment, he's in 16th. If he wants to benefit off a reverse grid pole in race 2, he's going to need to get to the top 10, which as it stands is about, what, 5-ish, 6-ish seconds away. Yep. So yeah, a long way to go. It's going to be tough. Yeah,
I won't put it past him though as well. Good evening, Ria. Good evening, Darryl Wright. Good evening, Mike Pollard. Good evening, Phil, as well. I've not been shouting out people, so that is my mistake. I'm sorry about that. Charles Kellerman trying to go with Craig Jones, not this time around. Adam Delmont, Ollie Ricks side by side in turn 1. You can see the massive difference that Delmont carries in speed there, Zach. He is literally got these Clios and he does so well. He reminds me of a train on rails, the way that he deals with these Clios. He is so fast, so quick in them. You know, and I love the him and Pete Newman battles because they are just two exceptional drivers in this series. one of the exceptional drivers in the AMS at the moment is Roger Morton. He's moved up and down ahead of Dan Lewis, and Lewis is now going to try and catch him up. They have got the pro of Michael Sill behind them though, so that could be an interesting one.
Yeah, probably will be. Nice battle, of course, in both the pros and the AMs. Very impressed to see Roger Morton once again doing really well, not just as an AM, but as an overall. Dan Lewis as well. For credit where credit's due as well. He's up there with him. So yeah, nice stuff to see. They're sort of matching the pace of Adam McNally just ahead for P4 across the line, and only a 3/10 swing in terms of pace. Actually, it was on the last lap. He was quicker. He's only a little bit slower than Carl Jacklett, who's on the pro podium at the moment. So, yeah, Roger Morton looking very, very quick in his 5th place overall, of course, leading the way in the AMS. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see how this one develops over the course of the next 14 minutes of race number 1. Of course, then we go for race 2 and for race 3. But, yeah, plenty of little rivalries forming on this grid, which is what I love to see it, because we get familiar with these drivers, we get to know them, we get to know their driving styles, their pace, their matchups, who they're sort of racing with, and then week in, week out, we see them have those battles, and they're always so amazing because mistakes happen. But when you get two drivers that are on the limit, fighting away, having fun, you know, you can't really ask for much more. I think that's ever true, especially in these Clios, especially with the JPB community that we've got. On the grid is fighting away still. We've got David Ayres and John McHutchinson, who is trying his best, bless him, to make amends, but he keeps getting stalled behind cars, and then unfortunately mistakes creep in.
He is trying, and that's what we love about John McHutchinson, that pure, I call him the William Wallace of the SR10s, mate. He's got this whole no retreat, no surrender attitude, and he does an absolute stellar job. He's going to send it on David Ayres. He's looking to. David Ayres has left him a bunch of room. There's action further behind as well. Edward Parfitt over. Charles Kellerman with Lee Deemer tucked him right behind as well. Parfitt goes in a little bit deep. That's going to allow Deemer to come alongside. Delmont now has gone and just cleared Andy Littler. Kellerman and Jones fighting out in front. They're backing everybody up. Deemer's trying to take that inside line. Parfitt's trying to run that high line. He's going to look for the cutback as he comes over the hill for turn 4. How is this one going to work down into turn 5? He's got to look. Is Delmont going to follow through as well? You're better off just letting him go, son. Letting him go. Fight with Littler, though. Littler's in your class. But there we go. Okay, so last season, that's the thing with my boy. Last season, we would have seen him turn in and have a big old incident. You know, this season, a little bit more savvy on the racecraft.
Yeah, it's good to see. He obviously has refined it ever so slightly. He knows when, where, if to go for moves. And again, that just comes down to experience, right? You know, you try. Oh, that worked. In that situation, that worked. So that then gets imprinted and committed to long-term memory. You go for a move, you fluff it up, and, well, there you go, boom. It's gone wrong. So then you know in future, probably not the best idea to go for those moves. Too wide, too deep as well in the fight a little bit further up. We've got Craig Jones trying to go side by side. This is with Charles Kellerman for 10th place overall. Kellerman, of course, just able to nip his way ahead. Craig Jones keeping his footing on the outside. Also, two abreast, Lee Deemer and Adam Delmont, the 77 machine, trying to find his way forward. Is a little bit sideways as he chucks the move into the inside of turn 3. Going for the move to the inside of 4, though, is Craig Jones. Not able to carry enough speed on that inside line, nor able to take the apex, and it could well leave him susceptible to Adam Delmont, who is going to be looking very, very he's just going to be, yeah, thankful, that one. As Craig Jones is not going to be looking thankful, however, nice drift.
Yeah, he is. He looks like he may have got a slowdown. He's going to lose a place to Deemer. Oh, or not. Or not. Maybe he's got a terminal issue. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Adam McNally fighting out with Roger Morton. Roger Morton as an AM up 3 places, sitting in 4th overall. The AMs mixing it up here tonight. Dan Lewis just behind Adam McNally and John McHutchinson as well. And then they're ahead of Sill, Kellerman, Delmont and Deemer. These 3 pros with David Ayres are flying at the moment.
Oh yeah. I'm really proud of these guys. We might have to implement the overall standings rather than the individual ones, because these AMs would be picking up some pretty hefty points if that was the case. They are, yeah, incredibly quick. And can't discredit them for it. If they're quick around a circuit, then they're quick around a circuit. The pros, they just need to do better. They need to get quicker. If AMs are beating them, no offense to you guys, but like these guys are
a little bit.
Don't underestimate them.
I know what you're saying, you know, they have been quick, and I think that's the thing. That's the fine line that we've got at the moment. Good evening, Handsome Stu, as well. Thank you so much for joining us. That's the fine line we've got here, isn't it? That's the fine line between AM and pros. The fact that we've got the likes of Morton, Lewis, Ayres, can all mix it in with Seal, Kellerman, and Demon. Now, Delmont is unusually placed at the moment, and I say that with an open mind because of the fact that obviously he's not normally there. You know, from Delmont's point of view, he's normally battling away with Pete Newman. He's just going to run Kellerman round the outside of turn 10, and that's going to make a move down into turn 1. But the fact that Morton, Lewis, and Ayres are mixing it in with, you know, McNally, McHutchinson, Seal, Kellerman as well, just goes to show how much of an improvement they've made.
Yeah, you know, the thing with pros and AMs is, again, as you say, it's a fine line, and there is a little bit of a grey area because, you know, week by week it's going to change. You know, the bottom end of the pros and the top end of the AMs, they're sort of in a bit of a mix and match. Even the top end of the pros and the top end of the AMs in this sense, but there's always going to be that crossover. There's always going to be that sort of, you know, that point where you just sort of say, well, on this week that guy was quicker in the pros, but on the other week he wasn't, and the pros were quicker than him. And it's just a case of where do you put everyone? Because, you know, chances are they can all mix it up. David Ayres, though, off the road, still in 8th overall. Let's take a look as to what happened.
Oh,
just tapped.
That's the 99 of Michael Seal there. And unfortunately, they've made a little bit of contact to Seal. That's allowed Delmont to close the gap on Seal. Littler is still having a little battle here with Parfitt. Morton's trying to get away. Delmont has just run round the outside of Michael Seal. I don't know if Michael Seal's not looking comfortable at the moment, but he's losing few places. He's down 1 from where he started. He has gone into the pit, so whether or not he's got damage on that one, we will have to wait and see. But we've got the Littler Parfitt battle hotting up as well as Parfitt chases down Lee Deemer here in the pros for this fight, which will give him 12th overall, just bordering that top 10 reverse.
Oh, he's
is that all I'm getting? Oh,
that is all. Yeah, well, I don't really know what to say. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm taken aback by it, to be fair. Should be a good race too. That's all I'm going to say. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, sorry. I was just taken aback a little bit. However, also taken aback a little bit by this fight as Edward Parfitt fighting away with Andy Littler. Unfortunately, a small mistake nearly saw Parfitt find his way through, but couldn't quite manage to make it stick. You can see how much gravel's on the apex actually. Look through the chicane. A lot of people have taken a bit too much of a liberty, I think, on the apex, and it's actually brought more gravel onto the track. I'm not sure if iRacing actually sees that as a difference, but if that was real life, you know, we'd be having punctures left, right, and centre. So maybe iRacing need to get on that, make it a bit more harsh. But yeah, drivers definitely pushing the limits, which can you blame them, to be fair, because they've got to. We've already touched on how hotly contested this grid is. Yeah, they've just got to bring the heat, and if that means scraping off an extra millimetre of track, then that's what it takes.
Well, the thing is, they've added depth to the gravel and the grass, right? We know that come out in the last update. Now, obviously, in real life, the movement of the gravel onto the tarmac would, as you say, cause punches, or is Parfitt's going to try and go up the inside there? Nope, nothing doing on that one. It will, and obviously it will have punches and stuff like that, but it will also add a certain amount of slippiness to the track there as Delmont just goes up the inside of David Ayres. I've got a funny feeling he let him go on that one. Adam McNally and John McHutchinson now fighting out as well. But it will also add that lack of grip on that certain area as well. As we know, you know, that when you tarmac or when you spit dust on anything or dirt on anything, it becomes slippy. And at the end of the day, they haven't got that. You know, there's certain realisms that, despite what we would love to see, would be probably against the capability of the team and the engine within iRacing. So to be able to add that feature where that gravel either one gets cleared, or, they miraculously throw a safety car and clear it up or whatever. I don't know however they would do it, Zach. But that gravel onto the track doesn't seem to really make a difference.
Unfortunately. But we're getting there in sim racing, I think. In terms of obviously track evolution and things. I'd say it probably could be done. Maybe the top end sims and things like that will do is... Hutchinson on the back of Adam McNally. That looked like a dangerous prospect. Look at that. Oh my word. That was crisp. Wow. John McHutchinson. Obviously the move's not done yet, but he just managed to get underneath the driver of course of Adam McNally, who's fighting his way to the inside of turn what usually is turn 13 now. He's able to hold the position. But that initial move from McHutchinson was so well done. There was a car's width on the inside, and he filled exactly a car's width. So precise, so smoothly done. Unfortunately, didn't in the end translate to what would have been 4th place in the pros. But a good move nonetheless, and a good effort, to say the least, for the Scotsman. But yeah, back to the point, obviously, about gravel. I'd say give it a couple of years, and sim racing will be there. I mean, look at the progression sort of in the last sort of 5 years with laser scan tracks and new wheels being developed and motion and force feedback and just sims in general getting better and better. It's only a matter of time before the immersion that you get from sim racing is probably at a peak as to how close you actually can get it to real life, which to be fair we are already quite close to now. It's just those small little fidgety bits that we need to sort out.
Yeah, I think as much as I do moan about the lack of rain, and I do moan about other things within iRacing, there is only a certain amount of capabilities within their engine that they're able to do. You've got to think of the possibilities and what they're capable of and what they're not capable of, and the things that we are almost on our Christmas wish list, you know what I mean? Because you would love to see that gravel on that corner on the entrance of turn 8 play a massive part, but it doesn't. We'd love to see rain, but we still haven't got it. We'd love to see variable track conditions like in Spa, where it would rain one side, dry the other, and we haven't. We'd love to see more cars of certain classes. Give me another W13, give me another whatever, another version of a different car, or the new TCRs, or all of these things that we would love. But it just goes on to a wish list, doesn't it? And I think that's the thing at the moment, is we've got to work within the capabilities of the engine and what iRacing are doing.
Yeah, pretty much. And, you're also limited by how much your PC can handle as well. Let's not forget that they're not designing a sim for a Formula 1 team where they've got millions of pounds to just throw at the hardware. You're trying to reach a demographic of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. That's why the F1 games aren't as realistic, because they're trying to appeal to a mass audience where if you make it too arcadey, you lose the sim racing niche. If you make it too sim racy, you lose the arcade niche. So they sort of have to blend it into the two to satisfy enough of both demographic in order to actually make the most of obviously of sales and things. So they're also limited in that vein, because at the end of the day, money drives everything. They, if they're not going to get a gain from it, then they're not necessarily going to do it. So there's also sort of that financial aspect to keep in mind. If I'm sure iRacing probably maybe could if they wanted to, but is it worth? If they add gravel making an effect to the racetrack, if it just so happens to be spewed onto it, are they really going to make that many sales from the thousands that they're going to put into it, as McHutchinson is trying to make his way up into 5th place? It's going to be a hard-fought fight with McNally through turn number 1. He gets given the space, both on the inside and obviously on the outside, but McHutchinson is going to be able to get himself ahead onto what might be the final lap of this race, if not the penultimate one, definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be one more. It would be the white flag next time round. I kept an eye on Pete Newman as he went over the line, and Barney was just stood there like doing it tonight. So hopefully he will do it next time. Adam McNally has unfortunately had an incident all on his own as Adam McNally. Let's see what he's been up to here as well. Just goes in way too deep. Dan Lewis says thank you very much and slips underneath. So a great job there as well. Final lap of the race for Pete Newman. Barney is waving tonight. Oh, we got 2 Barneys.
Hang on. Oh, interesting. Barney 1 and Barney 2. Lovely. Can't complain.
Barry and Barney Chuckle. It was probably before
Okay,
that's before your time, the Chuckle Brothers.
I've met him, actually.
Have you?
I've met them. Yeah, they came to a caravan park near me before. I can't remember which one was the one that passed away, but yeah, that actually was. I've met them. I've probably got a picture of them somewhere, but yeah, I don't remember it. I don't remember meeting them. I don't remember watching them, but yeah, I was at some point. I have seen them in the flesh, so there's something, I guess.
Well, there you go. Zach Sweeney's claim to fame. Meeting the Chuckle Brothers. Or one of the Chuckle Brothers. Or both. We don't really know. He's not really sure. Your leader, Pete Newman, is coming around turn 9 now. They do have wonderful names here at Zandvoort, but unfortunately my Dutch pronunciation is not on it, and I can't even tell you what they are actually called. But it is gonna be Pete Newman coming over the line for the final time in Heat 1. He will take that victory. He will do the job. Great job from him. Carl Hardy comes over. Another great result for the Result X Pure Sims team there as well. Carl Jacklet comes over in third. Morton hanging on for dear life at the moment to this win with John McHutchison, the pro, tucked up right behind him. Great result for Dan Lewis. Oh, McNally just pipped him. Adam Delmont battling his way up into 8th overall. David Ayres takes out the final podium position here as well, with Charles Kellerman behind that and Lee Diemer. Well, wasn't quite as action-packed as we thought here, but it was still great racing from everybody up and down the grid.
Yeah, it was close racing. Zandvoort's tight, it's twisty. There's not a lot of margin for error, so I suppose we have got to expect that in some capacity, with obviously a lack of overtaking. Not that there necessarily was a lack of overtaking. I think it was just a lack of confidence. Drivers not quite able to push the limits, and to be fair, everyone's where they should be in theory after qualifying. Everyone's where their pace demands them to be. Now with the reverse grid, we're going to have a bit of a mixed match. We're going to have the faster guys trying to overtake the slower guys. That discrepancy should promote some overtakes.
It should, Pete Newman. Here's your winner with Carl Hardy in second, Carl Jacklet in third. Then we've got Roger Morton, the AM winner, in fourth. John McHutchison 5th, Adam McNally in 6th, Dan Lewis 2nd in the AMS in 7th, Adam Dalmont 8th, and David Ayres rounds out the podium for the AMS. Charles Kellerman, Lee Diemer, Andy Littler, Edward Parfitt, Gary Walsh, Ollie Ricks, Chris Dixon, Sir Alan Toon, and unfortunately for Jack Andrews, he's down in 18th place. And then behind that, we've got Michael Seal and Craig Jones. Right, let's bring you up the grid for race 2. Charles Kellerman will be on pole with David Ayres in 2nd, Adam Dalmont 3rd, Dan Lewis 4th, Adam McNally in 5th, John McHutchison 6th, Roger Morton 7th, Carl Jacklet 8th, Carl Hardy 9th, and Pete Newman in 10th. Then you've got Lee Diemer, Andy Littler, Edward Parfitt, Gary Walsh, Ollie Ricks, Chris Dixon, Sir Alan Toon, and Jack Andrews. And then behind that, you've got Michael Seal and Craig Jones. The interesting thing, top 15 reverse for race 3. So it could see the likes of Ollie Ricks on pole position.
We might well see it. Also, I mean, Jack Andrews in 18th. He's only 3 places off. Just to say, could well happen. Maybe if Edward Parfitt, if he strategically drops a couple of places, could see himself on pole position as well. So many avenues, and that's what I love about the top 15 reverse grid, is the fact there are so many possibilities. Those that are towards the back have a chance. Those that are in the middle have a chance. Those that are at the front, they've got to make the most of opportunities in order to then be able to fight their way to the front in race 3. There are just so many different prospects with the top 15 reverse grid. And race 2, of course, they've had their warm up of race 1 and they're ready to go. Absolutely foot to the floor racing in this one. And I guess their warm-up as well in some capacities, because this reverse grid is preparing them for the reverse grid that's going to come in race 3, so they can sort of gauge how easy it is to overtake some of the slower cars, how effectively their rivals can get through on the slower cars as well. So, yeah, good things to keep in mind over the course of the race. But yeah, will be interesting to watch for sure. And also, you know, Adam Delmont starting a little bit further up than Pete Newman. He's got to make points up in this race. Otherwise, it's going to be so tough. I mean, again, we're only halfway through the championship after tonight. There's still loads of time. It's just when you're up against Pete Newman, right? You need to be there every round.
Absolutely. You need to grab the opportunity while it's available to you. Don't forget, guys, they do have a 5-minute gridding up for Heat 2, so that's why they're taking a bit of time to get out onto the grid. Handsome Stew says, to me, to you, to me, to you. Somebody knows the Chuckle Brothers there as well. All you youngsters that don't know the Chuckle Brothers, you can Google them or look on YouTube. On there enough. So, yeah, Barry and Phil. No. Barry and somebody Chuckle. Barry and Phil Chuckle? Who were they? I'm not expecting you to help those, Zach, even though you did meet them. Barry and Paul. Barry and Paul Chuckle. So, yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, Barry and Paul Chuckle. There you go. Thank you very much. Nobody helping YouTube chat. It's fine. I'll spend the time on Google. But yeah, Barry and Paul Chuckle. Bless them. As Lee Dima sits on the grid with about 45 seconds, give or take, about now remaining here of this time. People will start gridding up once more, and we will get race 2 underway. I think race 2 could bring some spice here with the likes of Pete Newman, Carl Hardy, Carl Jacklett trying to come through the field. Can Adam Delmont take the victory there, Zach, sitting at the front?
I'd say he needs to. Like, that's the bare minimum for Adam Delmont, and I know that's tough because to win, and you know, the bare minimum, you basically can only lose. You can either par or be, you know, under par. So Adam Delmont, he can't exceed expectations, but he needs to win this race.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, Zach. I've got to be honest.
He shouldn't accept anything.
No,
he shouldn't accept anything else.
No, he shouldn't, and I don't think he's going to have much trouble with the likes of David Ayres. That isn't because David's going to roll over like my little puppy and get his belly tickled. I think David is just not stupid enough to get himself into a fight. But here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights. We are green, green, green. Great start from some of the people at the back there. You can see Edward Parfitt making a stellar move with Gary Walsh and Ollie Ricks right behind him, but it is Charles Kellerman out in front with David Ayres second, Delmont there as well. McNally's up 1 place. He's cleared Dan Lewis looking up the inside here once more. All of these drivers have made it round turn 1, and you can see Kellerman and Ayres. Delmont's just gone, thank you very much. You leave that inside line open in turn 3. I'm having it. David Ayres is trying to come back though, Zach. He's trying to run him too wide on the way down into turn 5. David Ayres is not going away here, Zach. He's like a, I don't know, there is an analogy, but I don't know if I can say it on broadcast. And Dan Lewis has gone round. Oh, it's like a car park. Tooney's there, Jacklett's there, Parfitt's there, Lewis is there. Unfortunately there as well, but David Ayres still fighting out with Adam Delmont.
Yeah, David Ayres, I don't see the strategy in this one. Maybe trying to put as many cars between himself and Roger Morton as possible probably is what his ideology is in this race, but yeah, he definitely is not going away anywhere from Adam Delmont, who wants to get through to chase after Charles Kellerman, but Adam Delmont once again might be under pressure from his fellow Adam of McNally, who is going to be potentially eyeing up and moving to turn number 1, or is it going to be McNally under pressure from McHutchinson, the 2 Mooks going into turn number 1? It's the Scotsman trying to go to the right-hand side, not quite close enough, but yeah, very close. The pressure is going to be rising, and David Ayres is the one at the front feeling all of it, just trying to run scared as best he can. And, well, will we see him succumb to said pressure? Will he be able to stay ahead of Roger Morton for the duration of this race? McNally fighting tooth and nail to find a gap on Adam Delmont. who needs to get away through now, because the longer he waits for this move to come, the more of a gap that Charles Kellerman is going to get, and the harder the job for the rest of the races.
It definitely is. They're going around turn 6. Delmont is still there. McHutchinson running side by side with Roger Morton, with Pete Newman coming up behind them here as well. Zach, they've got to be aware that Pete Newman is flying. He's trying to come up to close that gap. He's got a gap at the moment of about 2.2 seconds. That's not insurmountable for Pete Newman. That is well within his remit here to try and catch up to this group. And here, as I said, Delmont needs to get David Ayres. It is imperative that Delmont gets on his bike. I want to have a look at what happened to Dan Lewis, because Dan Lewis, Carl Hardy, Edward Parfitt, Andy Littler, Chris Dixon, Gary Walsh all were involved in that incident. Delmont's going to try and send it up the inside at the moment. It's going to look, Hutchinson's in the barrier. I think McHutchinson hit the barrier. He has recovered. Delmont and Ayres still going at it once more. And Ayres is not letting Delmont through. He's not giving Delmont the room, and he's got a right to fight. I think he has got a right to fight.
Yeah, obviously it's not for points, it's for track position. Again, it's that safety buffer back to Roger Morton. The danger with this is that the more cars are queued up behind David Ayres, the more cars potentially could overtake David Ayres, and obviously the closer that Roger Morton is kept. But obviously he knows what he's doing. He's in charge of this race as it stands and would like to maximise his points. So Delmont, again, if he was that much quicker, if he did deserve to be in front, he would be in front.
Ooh.
So he needs to get quicker if he wants to find a way through, and I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure he's finding a way to be. Now obviously he's going to look to the inside of the banking going into the final corner. That's not something you see every day. It's the high line for David Ayres, who has to eventually back out and allow Delmont up into second. Beautifully done. And, well, nice little move there. Up in the second place for Adam Delmont. Is Ayres going to go for a counter-attack into the braking zone? I don't quite think so. And if I was Ayres, I'd be sitting in the slipstream of Delmont for as long as possible to just, use him as your defence.
Yeah, Pete Newman, fastest lap of the race. There's at 1:19.10 at the moment. What is happening with Dan Lewis and Andy Littler? They're going side by side down into turn 1. Lewis has made it through. Chris Dixon here fighting it out with Lee Deemer, with Parfitt, Edward Parfitt, of course, not myself, because I'm not that capable of driving and commentating at the same time. Here trying to close the gap, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But at the moment, look at these trainer cars and look who's there. He's cleared David Ayres, he's gone after Charles Kellerman, and now Kellerman coming into turn 8 here. Zach has got to make a decision. Do you defend like a lion? Do you try and get away from the flying Adam Delmont? Or do you let him go and try and follow him? What would you do?
For Kellerman, it's a chance to win. No offense, these don't come often. He needs to defend. If he wants to win, he needs to defend. But it is going to be tough. The moment Delmont gets through, I'd say it's done. I'd say it's done.
Yeah.
Inside line, and he's got it.
Oh,
yeah,
and locked up. Oh.
No. Not enough space. He covered it off. He did the exact same thing on the previous lap. He locked up but didn't go deep, thankfully for him. But yeah, I'd say Kellerman, the best he can ask for in this race now is second, because once Delmont found a way past, he was always going to run away with it.
Yeah, he definitely was there as well. But we've still got Hardy, we've still got Newman, we've still got the William Wallace of the SR10s, John McHutchinson in the Clios. We've still got Morton going at McNally. We've still got Ayres. Morton runs in deep. There's all a little bit of a concertina effect. David Ayres gets a little tap from Adam McNally, and now they're fighting out. But here comes Newman. He's got up the inside of McNally. He's now trying to get over John McHutchinson. Hutch cuts his nose off, going round 7. Hutch is now there behind David Ayres. He's another one that wants to close him. Ayres is keeping 3 cars between him and Morton. He's doing what he needs to do here, Zach. But boy, oh boy, has he got a rush of fast drivers behind him.
Yeah, he does. I would not want to be Charles Kellerman right now.
No, I wouldn't want to be David Ayres either.
Nah, I wouldn't want to be either of them.
No.
They're just... I mean, I want to be them because they're in second and third place. But I wouldn't want to be them in the sense that to keep those second and third place, they've got to keep behind McHutchison, Newman, McNally, Morton, and Carl Hardy. Probably, you know, some of the big names in this championship. Of course, Adam Dunwood's already gone on his bike and rode off into the distance. So now, realistically, it's a fight for second as McHutchison tries, but nearly it goes into the back of David Ayres. Thankfully, he's able to stay out of his rear bumper, trying to keep us fitting on the grass as well. Pete Newman is just looking at this situation thinking, okay, when can I find a way through? Side by side as McNally outside for Newman, but he's just going to wait. I think he's going to wait for one of them to make a mistake and go in deep.
Yeah, McNally there did clear Morton once more. Jack Andrews running side by side with Ollie Ricks here at the moment. Third in the AMS. If Jack can clear Ollie Ricks, is he going to get a podium on his first run out? The young lad, of course, Carl Hardy's stepson, 16 years of age, and he's probably faster than me and anybody and most other people as well. So yeah, I'm gutted about that. But there we go. We got too deep, too wide. David Ayres is running out on that high line. He's going to look for the slingshot coming off down the straight. I'm seeing three wide, Zach. I am seeing three wide going down into turn one. Is it going to happen here behind him as well? It almost nearly is. And John McHutchison now clears David Ayres. David Ayres goes down into the clutches of Morton. This is where we're going to see what David Ayres is made of. Is he going to fight, Zach? Is he going to hold Morton back for that AM win? He's got to try, right? Because Morton got the jump on him in the first one. Morton's got that high line. Morton's on the grass. He has swept round the outside of David Ayres. Go, Roger Morton. Here once more. McHutchison and Kellerman. Kellerman's got it deep. Here comes Newman. He's going to take out the inside. Kellerman's gone round. Oh, he's gone round. They're three wide further back as well. It's all going a little bit Pete Tong here, Zach, at the moment on this lap.
Oh, it really is. And the fighting continues as well as David Ayres and Roger Morton continue to fight side by side through the chicane. It's the outside line for Morton, but it's not quite going to work out in the end. Carl Hardy trying to get himself into the mix as we're nearly halfway through race number 2 into the penultimate corner, and David Ayres still holding quite firm, unfortunately off the overall podium, but still hanging on to the AM lead. However, that is under threat. Roger Morton wants it. He's hungry and he wants that 4th place if he's able to get it. Carl Hardy is probably going to be David Ayres' last hope at delaying the inevitable potentially. Carl Hardy pulls out to the right hand side, gets a bit of a squeeze though from Morton as a big lock up there from David Ayres sends him in ever so slightly deep. But yeah, I'd say David Ayres is probably going to be like trying to slide Carl Hardy a fiver here to say, come on, mate, keep him busy. Keep him busy for me so I can breathe. Because otherwise, Roger Morton is just going to keep pestering him.
Well, the interesting thing is pretty much every driver who's in one chat at the moment. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There's 16 drivers in the same voice chat. So there's only a couple that are not here in this chat as well. So this could be an interesting conversation what's going on at the moment, because I can guarantee there's some spicy language coming out here as well. Gary Walsh now having a go at Parfitt Jr. with Charles Kellerman here as well. And Gary Walsh, it looks like Parfitt's hit a little bit of a well, looks like he's hit a pole, but I got a funny feeling though, Zach, that may have something to do with the Dan Lewis incident right at the beginning. Now we can have a look why there is a break in it. Lewis there in that JPB liveried car. He's got Jacqueline alongside, who's with Morton. Oh, Jacqueline. And then look, everybody's just, well, parked there. Nobody can go anywhere. So, yeah, I've got a funky feeling that one's on Carl Jacqueline.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much, set in stone. Wasn't malicious or anything like that. Wasn't on purpose.
No, he just went
a
in
small
too
mistake
deep.
that you make on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a small mistake you make on cold tires at the start of a race. There was no malice. He's not a dirty driver or anything like that. He just missed his braking point. Simple as. And unfortunately, you do play dominoes when things like that happen. Carl Hardy trying to go side by side now with David Ayres. Morton has in the meantime been able to find his way past. But Ayres fighting away with Carl Hardy. There's contact. And Carl Hardy is sent sideways, kicking up some tyre smoke. Let's take another look immediately. But I'd say that's probably the wrong move from Ayres. I'd say let Carl Hardy through and sit in a slipstream.
Oh,
wow. That almost looks intentional. I know it's not.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree. I'm sure they're arguing it out right about now, David Ayres and Carl Hardy, because they are in the same voice chat. We have lost McNally, Sill and Jones. Craig Jones didn't make it for race 2, so he is not here, unfortunately. Lee Diemer and Chris Dixon scrapping it out further down for 9th and 10th overall.
Yeah, beautiful battle. And again, showing that it can happen up and down the order. It's not just the fights at the front that we're interested in. Lee Diemer, of course, in the pros, Chris Dixon for the AMs, but Diemer is going to go, and he's going to try and get himself alongside. It's the long way round into turn number 1. He's got to be brave on the brakes, though, and carry that speed through. He's done exactly that. Nicely done, up to 9th place. And looking fairly strong in all fairness. I think Lee Diemer could be a good shout going into race 3 if he's able to maximise his places. Also, I'm just looking at the timing sheet. Jack Andrews.
I've just looked at that.
7th, up 11 places.
Yep, I have just looked at that with Jack Andrews. Up 11 here as well. The biggest gainer out of the whole field. Wow. Incredible job from Jack. Let's not forget, okay guys, he is a young man of 16 years of age. He joined iRacing last weekend. Okay, last weekend he joined iRacing. So an absolute incredible job from Jack Andrews there. Mikey Pollard, ask him now about when he met the Chuckle Brothers, when you next speak to him. Okay, bud, well, I'll see him on Wednesday. But that is an absolute barnstorming job from Jack Andrews at the minute here, Zach. A young man, literally a week into his iRacing journey, already up 11 and sitting in the podium spot in the AMs.
Again, we've had some strong drivers today, right? Like, the caliber is insane. A little bit further up, we've got Carl Hardy still battling away with David Ayres. I'm surprised as to how hard David Ayres, he's going to die on this hill, right? Like, he's planted his flag, and he is like, he's holding his Braveheart style, right? He is not backing down without a fight. Fair play. I respect it. But eventually Carl Hardy is just going to trample his way through. I'd say the best thing Ayres has done is annoy Carl Hardy. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. He has just caused Carl Hardy a bit of an inconvenience in this race.
I think David Ayres has. But Dixon, Kellerman, Parfitt, Walsh and Littler. Now Littler's having a go over Gary Walsh. There was contact here. Here comes Dan Lewis. Is Lewis gonna... Oh, no, Gary Walsh. What did you do? Oh, hello, where they gone? So he starts off spinning, and then, onto the gravel, and then in...
Oh, that's tough. Oh, ow. Felt that one.
Yeah, poor old Gary Walsh there, unfortunately, dropped himself into a horrible position. But boy, oh boy, sent it into that hairpin quite rapidly.
Yeah, too much speed. Way too much speed. And very quickly met his good old friend Barry R. Who very quickly sent him back out into the racetrack, and then he very quickly found the rest of the pack, and then very quickly lost his front bumper. So not a fun 5 seconds for Walsh. Let's put it that way.
He did a lot of things very quickly there, young Zach.
It all happens within a blink of an eye, and that's the thing with racing, is that it's scary that you can be doing so well for so long, and it can all change in this, a blink of an eye, and then it's just all gone, poof, just like that. And it's essentially just a waste of a race, because there's nothing you can do. Once it's happened, and it's just one of those small things that you think, oh, like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of an analogy of like a small thing that has a big consequence, like, I don't know, scraping your bumper, trying to pull out a Tesco's car park or something like that, and you look at it and you think, that was so easily avoidable, and yet it's now just sent my insurance skyrocket, and it's, got this angry man now shouting at me because I've just scraped this car, and you're annoyed at yourself. And again, it's just that small thing that's now had this big consequence and can change in the span of about 10 seconds, and that
is karma. That is what I would classically call a piece of karma, and there's a reason why. This part of... Nope. Where is it, young sir? I want to pick up... where are you, Dan? Lee Deemer. No, I can't go back far enough, unfortunately, but Lee Deemer, weaving all the way down the straight there, unfortunately, has caused him a problem. And I'm going to try and get it here, I think. Nope, I still can't go back far enough. Ah! There we go, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then completely misses his braking point.
All that weaving,
and then just does that. I've got to be honest, Lee, if you do watch this back, just remember I love you, but when you next do that, weave me a jump all the way down there, sir. You know what I mean? You've done that much weaving. I really need to stop watching Formula One, because that for me is just one move and I'm done with it. There was no need for it. It drives me crazy. It literally drives me to the borderline of just... Oh.
it depends if you're being safe. Lee Deemer, until he forgot to brake, was being safe. There was a big enough gap between him and the cars behind that he wasn't blocking, he was braking the toe. If there was someone on his bumper and he was going right, left, then fair enough, that's blocking. But from what he was doing, from the distance he was doing it, I'd say that's more braking the toe. He probably should have...
They were too far back.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Which is why it was safe and he could get away with it. I would say go once, go twice, maybe go back once more and come back. But once you commit to defending when they get close enough, once you commit to defending and they're within, say, 2/10, stay there, right? That is, you know, don't be then being erratic. And then obviously it does then help to brake when you're supposed to, not when you feel like it.
White flag, final lap of the race. Yeah, I do agree, but it still drives me crazy. It literally drives me to borderline OCD. I've got to be honest. Ah, dearie me.
Right?
I can't help it. It's just... no. Just no, in my eyes. Sorry, Zach.
It's fine. Don't apologise to me. I'm not the one that deserves an apology. I'm not the one that...
well, it's normally you upsetting drivers, so, you know, it makes a change that it's me.
Yeah, that is true. But I'm not the one that apologises or needs apologising to. It's the drivers. I've caught on to what you mean now. Yes, you're the one that's upsetting Lee Deemer. We've sort of just swapped roles with this one. Charles Kellerman on the back of Chris Dixon. This is for 9th place on the final lap. Adam Delmott, though, is looking pretty to take a dominant victory, and unfortunately, it's the bare minimum.
Well, it is. He did what he had to do. He had to go and win. But unfortunately, it was Newman come over the line and John McHutchinson in 3rd place. Let's pick up on the Parfitt Littler battle. Littler's just cleared Parfitt on the final lap here. What about Dixon and Kellerman, as they're coming in as well? But it is going to be Morton, Ayres, and also Andrews, his first podium in his first race. No, second race in his first week of iRacing, as Kellerman is going to try that run down to the line. Is he going to get Dixon? I think Dixon's going to hold on here. Down to the line they go. It is Chris Dixon with Charles Kellerman behind that one as well. Andy Littler, Edward Parfitt, Dan Lewis and Carl Jacqueline will be on pole for race 3.
Looking pretty. I am... Bring it on. Race 3, yeah, because the front row itself looks pretty good. Obviously, Edward Parfitt's up there. Andy Littler's up there. I have to say, I feel a little bit bad for Jack Andrews. Obviously, I don't feel bad for him because he's just finished 7th. Like, fair play, lad. Like,
you know what I mean?
Awesome.
I agree.
But
he is going to be in the mix.
He's now got to do it again.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Right. Here is the results. Adam Delmont is your winner, and he did it by 3.5 seconds over Pete Newman. Did the bare minimum. He had to go win, and he did. Newman 2nd, McHutchison in 3rd. Roger Morton there with his 2nd win of the evening. Carl for the AMS. Carl Hardy 5th. David Ayres and Jack Andrews rounding out the podium for the AMS. Ollie Ricks 8th. Chris Dixon 9th. And then you've got Charles Kellerman,
Lee Deemer, Andy Littler, Edward Parfitt, Dan Lewis, Carl Jacklet, Alan Toon, Gary Walsh, and Adam McNally, Michael Seal, and No Craig Jones here this evening to round out the grid. We have got a little bit of a 5-minute warm-up, guys, so if you want to get a drink and do all that, you can. Me and Zach are going to take a couple of minutes, and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, we are back. 3 minutes left on this warm-up in this Clios. I'm James Parfitt alongside Zach Sweeney for the final race of the evening. These two races, though, Zach, I've got to admit, have been an absolute stellar battles. Race 2 was awesome.
It was. And part and part helped by the reverse grid, obviously. At Zandvoort, overtaking naturally is going to be slightly more difficult, but Adam Delmont fighting back after losing the first race to Pete Newman, but in the end Pete Newman just flew up to the front anyways to mitigate the damage and did exactly what he needed to do in race 2. But nonetheless, a fantastic race, and with the prospect ahead of a top 15 reverse grid race for race 3, we're looking pretty good to round off the evening. As we always do, race 3 is just it's usually the climax of the evening.
Yeah, it definitely is. Race 3 is going to be exciting. 1 minute till we start up on grids. Hope everybody is having a fabulous evening. Don't forget, if you are new here, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. That would be absolutely amazing. Once more, as we have got a lot more racing coming up, you can view that on the JPB on the JPB YouTube channel, listed under upcoming. They will give you all of what you need there for this whole entire week up until Saturday. They're up there ready to go. There will be more Sundays appearing tomorrow, guys, as well. We've got the IGP and the iFormula F3 as well. So get yourselves, come along, get yourselves involved in that. As I say, there's a lot more racing. There's a lot more plans coming up for the JPB YouTube channel as well. Things we're working on in the background, so you may see some of the things that you haven't seen before. And if you don't know what we're talking about, there is the F1 watch along with myself and Alex Goldschmidt on the video listing as well, where you listen to me and Adam watching along the F1. It was very exciting. However, my alarm going off at 5 a.m. to get up and do it, that was quite hard. Not gonna lie there, Zach. It did definitely shake the old brain cells getting out of bed at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I don't like it. I have to get up at 6:20 every day for work. And that was a big adjustment for me, because when I finished college, I had about a month and a half where I could just wake up whenever I like, and then it was boom, full-time job. You got to be awake. You got to be awake. So I didn't like it very much. But hopefully these guys are switched on and ready to go for race 3.
Carl Jacklet, Dan Lewis, Edward Parfitt, Andy Littler, and Lee Deemer are your top 5. Charles Kellerman in 6th. Chris Dixon 7th, Ollie Ricks 8th, Jack Andrews down in 9th with David Ayres in 10th, Carl Hardy 11th, Roger Morton 12th, John McCutcheon 13th, Pete Newman 14th, and Adam Delmont 15th. That's the battle we're going to be keeping an eye on. Delmont and Newman. That's going to be interesting. Then we got Gary Walsh, Adam McNally, Michael Sill, Craig Jones, who I think are not going to take to the grid. But lights out and away we go once more. It's green, green, green. Carl Jacklett leads us away with Dan Lewis, Andy Littler and Edward Parfitt running side by side. Down into turn 1. How is this one going to turn out? Are they all going to make it through? Is Lewis going to help out his teammate here? Lewis has had pace here this evening. Everybody else makes it through as well. Starting off with the leaders, Pete Newman up 1 over John McCutcheon. I'll say that lightly because they are running side by side currently at the moment, Zach, as they're going around turn 3 for the first time.
Yeah, multiple rows of cars going side by side. Exactly what we love to see. Multiple of just everyone, you know, going through. You can see 3, 4 rows of 2. That is what's taken me back a little bit and just sort of shot me for words. It really is Noah's Ark 2 by 2 continuing that battle. Pete Newman not really able to make much progress forwards apart from, you know, staying where he is, which I suppose is progress, and well, it's not really progress, it's more just a you know, a lack of not going backwards. There's multiple cars still running side by side. I swear they've been doing it for near on half a lap now. Pete Newman and Adam Delmont now find themselves nearly side by side. It's Carl Hardy that's fighting away. Delmont tries to make it 3 wide into the penultimate corner, nearly messes it up, and Carl Hardy goes the long way round. And now it's going to be very difficult for Adam Delmont to keep Pete Newman behind, because they both have to go forwards, but also they want to be the one to lead the way while doing it.
Oh, they're going to be 3 wide down into turn 1. Hutch on the right, Ayres in the middle, Andrews out on the left. The new young gun is putting the old guard under pressure. He is going to make it round through David Ayres. David Ayres tries to get across, doesn't make it through. Jack Andrews running around the outside of turn 1. He's now battling with a 3-time Radical Race Series champion in John McCutcheon. He loses a bit of time. Oh, Jack! That's not ideal.
That's not. No. Again, I think that's an experience, as that's wide from Lee Deemer going off the road nearly. I'd say that is more just an experience than anything. He's got the raw talent, that's for sure. But like what we were talking about with Edward Parfitt earlier on, with sort of learning and growing with each race that you do, Jack Andrew just needs to get out on track more. Maybe do some Clio officials or something to learn the racing, because he's got the pace, he's got the raw pace. It's just those small mistakes like that, when to give room, when to back out, you know, how hard to fight these moves and things. That's sort of the thing he needs to learn. And you can only do that by just doing the thing, right? You know, no one can teach you that, because there are so many different avenues and so many different routes that, you know, each situation can go in. It's just going out there and figuring that out for yourself. At the front though, Edward Parfitt leading the way in the AMs, 2nd place overall. He's got Andrew Littler trying to put some pressure on him, but he's not doing too bad.
No, he's not. We've lost Dan Lewis, and I can't find out why, but I can find out why Delmont is out. He's down the order. Why are you down the order? Oh, he's missed his braking point. Oh, the man that did all that hard work in race 2, Zach, and it's all just gone Pete Tong for Adam Delmont. McCutcheon fighting out with Deemer here as well. Newman up 4 places with 16 minutes to go, and I would not be surprised if Newman's in the top 5 as McCutcheon goes past Deemer.
Yeah, Pete Newman, he's on for a top 5. I mean, the next up to the 6th is in a train. Then, well, McCutcheon's now got onto the slipstream of Ollie Rick, so they're basically just lined up for Pete Newman to take as he wishes. He's just got to do it one at a time, slowly but surely, and just, you know, slow progress, baby steps. That's what Pete Newman likes. I mean, he will just get a car, wet a couple of corners, get another one, and just take them one at a time. Use them each as stepping stones. He's trying to find his way past Roger Morton, who himself is trying to find a way past Chris Dixon going into turn number 1. You can see 3 abreast as Roger Morton in the middle, I think, is actually going to be the one to take the lead of that respective train. Chris Dixon forced to concede, and now Pete Newman on the left-hand side as they run their way through 2. The sweeper of 3 is going to be Pete Newman that gets himself ahead. Kyle Hardy trying to get into the mix as well, tries to go to the inside of turn 4. That is going to be quite difficult though, as the exit speed is all important. Nice bit of racing there between Pete Newman and obviously Roger Morton as well. But Pete Newman, he's up 1, and well, Roger Morton, to be fair to him, might actually do some of the hard work for him.
I definitely agree there. Morton sitting 4th overall in the AMS. Ollie Ricks is under pressure here from the Scotsman once more. You can see him in the background there. There he is in that gold and black. John McCutcheon chasing down Ollie Ricks there as well. Andy Littler still trying to get hold of Parfitt. Lee Deemer still trying to have a go at Morton with Newman behind that, and Chris Dixon and Carl Hardy. David Ayres still mixing it up as well here. He's trying to get on to the back of Hardy and hold back that young gun of Jack Andrews. What about Charles Kellerman? What about Ollie Ricks and John McCutcheon? Hutch has cleared Ricks and has done it down into turn 1 and the fastest lap, and the 3 wide further back. Oh, blimey. Newman, Morton and Deemer.
Oh, these guys giving absolutely everything. They're not leaving anything on the table. They're throwing whatever they can, pushing the limits. Pete Newman trying to deter Roger Morton from launching its counter-attack into turn 4. But again, that outside line prevails. It is actually going to give the advantage to Lee Deemer, who sees the chance on the inside and finds his way past Roger Morton and up into 8th place overall. Pete Newman's next target is going to be Ollie Ricks, 1.5 seconds up to him. Pete Newman on the podium, right? 1.5 seconds up to Ollie Ricks, who himself is close to McCutcheon, who is close to Kellerman, who is close to Littler, who himself is close to Parfitt as well. We're not even halfway through this race yet. I'd say a podium for Pete Newman is more than doable.
I fully agree, but he has got some toughies in the middle there. John McCutcheon, he's not going to roll over. Do you know what I mean? He won't roll over and get his belly rubbed. Morton and Deemer are running side by side. Morton on that inside line coming out of turn. Whoa! Whoa! Go on, Rog! No! Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah! Roger Morton, what a move that was.
Can't complain with it. I'm sure he's going to be quite chuffed with it as well. And yeah, there we go. Pete Newman he's been able to pull away because of it, up 2 seconds for further from the rest of the field. Roger Morton has in the end. Let's take another look at it. Through the banking, onto the grass, over the curb.
Oh, look at that!
Once, twice, 3, crosses his arms over, it brings it back. Oh my goodness me!
The wall! Oh, Rog! Oh, he done it! But boy, oh boy, I bet there was a brown pants moment in that car for Roger Morton at that point, mate.
I'm sure he's going to be more than chuffed with that.
Yeah, I fully agree.
I'm just seeing it from his perspective, right? And it goes, oh, car's sideways now. Okay, I'll correct it. And then it's like, oh, car's now sideways the other way, so I'll correct it again. Oh, brilliant, I'm now the other way. And he's just doing chopping and changing with his steering wheel. Fair play. It takes a lot of control with that. It takes a lot of the trust in the car. And basically what you have to do at that point is let the car correct itself. Don't fight it as McCutcheon tries to fight the move. This is for 3rd place. He sends the move to the inside of Andy Littler and moves his way up ahead. 10 places. McCutcheon, I'd say, is underrated in this field, right? He's actually pulled up some stellar performances, especially now in race 3. He's really putting some pressure on for some good places. Carl Jacklett, though, has really, run away with this opportunity. He's taken it with both hands and not wasted it one bit. And he's got 6 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. That doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Parfitt trying to defend 2nd place overall. Is he going to, get his belly tickled by McCutcheon to not lose time, or does he want that buffer behind to Andy Littler?
I think he's got to make a consented decision here. He held Littler back, so does he really need to fight a Scotsman? He held Littler. Yes, there are others coming, and you can see them there, Littler, Kellerman and Newman. But if he can just stay in front of Hutchinson a little bit longer until Littler gets under attack from the Kellerman-Newman, then I think he might be all right. But he's got to make a decision down into turn one now, is Edward. He's either got to let him go or battle him. Hutch is going to take the inside line. Parfitt is going to run wide. Sensible move. Now get it stopped and slot in behind him, which he did do there as well. So, you know, nice little bit of thinking overall from Edward. However, trying to go up the inside of John McHutchinson, not an ideal line.
Nah, not really. But yeah, not too bad in the end. Unfortunately, it has spelt the attack at Carl Challerman a little bit further back. It's allowed, I think, Pete Newman just to pick him off. And the outside line is so much better into turn 4. For whatever reason, I mean, obviously, it's a steeper incline. The track's doing more of the turning for you, so it makes sense that you're able to carry more speed through. But yeah, you'd imagine the inside line has a little bit more of a say in it. But I suppose, again, being on the outside, you can get on the power early, you can carry more speed out as well as in. It's just a double whammy, really. So Charles Kellerman falls victim to Newman and down to 6th, but still not a bad result for him if he's able to keep it. Pete Newman on the back of Andy Littler, setting the fastest lap of this race, a 1:19.1. You know, that's quicker than most of the grid's qualifying times. He's just smashed that in the race. He's on the back as well of Littler, who will probably, I don't know if Littler's going to, you know, take this one, you know, too harsh. You've also got Carl Hardy trying to move past Charles Kellerman. Both Pure Sims cars going to the inside, and Pete Newman is just committed. He's confident in his car. He takes the track, and he will probably take the position. It's a little bit hard fought from Andy Littler, but in the end, I think it will be Pete Newman because, again, he's going to take the outside into 4, and that's going to be his position. Job done. Nice. Carl Hardy is next up. Pure Sims, as a collective, moving up the field really nicely. You know, Newman and Hardy work really nicely together. Yeah,
they definitely do, and I think that's one of the things that we are going to be keeping an eye on now. It's now on what happens behind. You can see Roger Morton going hot there. You can see Adam Dalmon get an excellent run. You're going to bully Ollie Ricks off that line, and you did, but however, that's going to give you the outside line into turn 7. Can Dalmon hold it? They're side by side. They make a little bit of contact. They do make it through. Littler and Parfitt going once more. Littler holding on with Carl Hardy there. And this is really playing into Edward's hands at the moment. The fact that they're catching Littler to put themselves between him and Littler gives himself a little bit of a break.
It does. It just allows him that breathing space, essentially, of you know, a buffer zone, and that's something that a lot of drivers are going to be grateful for. A huge lockup from Edward Parfitt, but to be fair, I'm quite confused that more people aren't making bigger mistakes because of that lockup. I guess because they're locking the outer wheel. No, because again, that doesn't make much sense because, you know, the outer wheel is the one that's doing the most amount of turning anyway. So maybe they're just getting lucky with how controlled the car is when the brakes have locked. I'm fairly confused with it, but they're managing. Further back, we've got Ollie Ricks versus Roger Morton. Roger Morton not having the best of races in this one, and a big lockup there from Ollie Ricks allows Morton to nip his way up the inside, get an earlier apex to put his foot down, and we'll have the inside line going into the chicane. So should be a fairly easy affair from Roger Morton. Yeah, indeed it is. So much tyre smoke being kicked up. It seems to be a tough track on the brakes.
Yeah, it definitely does there. Littler's still holding back Carl Hardy. Dalmont's just cleared Kellerman right behind there as well. Ollie Ricks still trying to hang on to Roger Morton, but it's this middle battle with Carl Hardy, Andy Littler and Edward Parfitt. You can see Newman going after McHutchinson, and he's going after him quick here. So Newman is closing. He's just pulled out 4 tenths on John McHutchinson in that lap alone.
That is impressive. Pete Newman, he's just different gravy. I don't know what he has for breakfast.
Different gravy?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like, he's not Bisto, he's Tesco's own.
I don't know. Maybe Sainsbury's. Maybe he's probably Waitrose, to be fair.
So you're
I'm not
comparing
sure.
Pete Newman to gravy that you stick on your roast potatoes?
Well, it doesn't have to be roast potatoes. You can put it on whatever you like. Put it on your mash. You can put it on your, I don't know, whatever you like. Whatever tickles your fancy. To be fair, whatever you like having gravy on. It's just an expression that I think, I don't know. To be fair, I don't even understand half the slang. I just get with it and say it anyway. What I mean to say is he's sort of a step above the rest, right? He's that guy that's always quick. But to be fair to McCutcheon and to Newman, they've both made their way up in equal number of positions. They are going to coagulate towards the end of this race. I would imagine Pete Newman's going to get the better of McCutcheon, unless McCutcheon fights really hard for this place, which, you know, I don't put it past him. Adam Dalmont trying to fight his way forward as well, finds his way past Andy Littler on the inside of turn 1. Dalmont not making as much progress as Newman. He still needs a couple more places if he wants to seal the deal. But fair play to Edward Parfitt as well. He's off the overall podium, but he's still leading the way in the AMs.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's doing a great job here as well, and I'm sure he will be excited by the time he comes down and gives me his normal race review. I should get him to write a blog, really, to be honest, because he comes down and tells me after every race what happened. But no, I'm looking at. So, you know, bless me little nipper. Carl Hardy just, I was just about to say, just about to spin Andy Littler there, and he just missed him. So a great job there. Parfitt's got that decision again. Me personally, I would let Dalmont go. Handsome Stew said he's besto. I'd have him on my roast, to be fair. So there we go.
Fair enough. I respect the honesty. Edward Parfitt, I would
let him go.
Let Dalmont through. Yeah, easily. Just take the high line going to the final corner. You can keep your speed up. You can let him through without a fight. You can get into a slipstream, and you can, you know, make a net positive out of it. He's not losing time back to Andy Littler. The more he fought with Dalmont, you know, the less he's going to gain in the long run, because the closer Andy Littler's going to get, and the more pressure Parfitt is going to be under to perform. He can now sit behind Dalmont, maybe learn a couple of things as well while he's doing it. And crucially, keep that little bit of a buffer zone that he's got back to Littler, because that's going to be the all-important thing. Parfitt, the last thing he wants is to throw this away right at the end.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny Hutch is under pressure from the Waitrose buying gravy, and McCutcheon's made that mistake. That's allowed Newman through. Newman is not going to give this up. He's now going to set on his way. He's only got 3 minutes. Can he get Jacklet within them 3 minutes? That's going to be the question.
No. I'm just no. It's not happening. You can't. Maybe if he was Marks and Spencer's gravy. Maybe if he was Marks and Spencer's gravy, but he's not. Unfortunately, he's he's best though. I don't see it happening. There's not enough time. If there was maybe, if this was maybe a 25-minute race, I could see it happening, but it's not. It's a 20-minute race. 5 seconds in that amount of time. I mean, that last lap, a 19.4 to a 19.8, that's only 4 tenths. He needs another 10 laps, which he hasn't got. Carl Jackley just needs to keep it out of the wall, and it's his win.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. Johnny Hutch said Dalmont did clear Parfitt. Parfitt's got about a 7-second gap over Carl Hardy, which is great for him because he's got the arms of Littler and Morton fighting it out behind here as well. Can Edward Parfitt take his first ever win? Jack Andrews got his first ever podium, and he's only got 2 laps to hold on here. Can he do it, Zach? That's going to be the question. Can he hold on?
I've got faith. I would say he can. Just be clever with it. You know, you've led for this long. You know, why is now any different? Why are these corners any different than the ones you've already done for the last 18.5 minutes? Just play it smart. Don't fight Hardy too much. Use him as much as you can. If he goes for a move, let it happen. Don't lose too much time, because the last thing you want is Carl Hardy goes for a move on the inside, you try and fight it on the outside. Either there's contact in the gravel, or Littler says, cheers, there's now a space on the inside that you've left open because you've gone to the outside and, you know, not
one more lap. One more lap. Can he hold on? for one more lap. Morton and Littler going at it there. Puffs of tyre smoke from the guys in front. Morton and Littler are side by side coming out the entrance, the exit of 3. Down through 4 they go. Then they're going to be sweeping into 5. Then this hairpin of 6 here as well. It's all about the final few corners. Is Jacqueline going to take his first win of the season? He is looking like a shoe-in. Is Parfitt going to win the AMS overall? We need Hardy to either push him or go past him. There is literally only 5 corners left here at Zandvoort, Zach. It's going to be tough, but can he hold on with the fact that he's got Carl Hardy behind? Carl Jacqueline is looking like he's going to take his first win of the season. That is his first win, if I'm not mistaken.
I would say so. And he's going to come across the line. He's going to do it. And in fantastic fashion as well. What a race for Carl Jacqueline. Took the opportunities at hand. Pete Newman, close, but not quite close enough.
He's going to do
Carl
it.
Hardy.
It's going to do it. The boy has done it. He's taken his first AM win of the season, 5th overall. I'm going to sit here like a proud father. Why the hell not? As he's just taken his first AM win of the season ever. Actually, I think that's his first AM win ever. Go on,
Even
son.
better.
He'll get McDonald's tonight, bless him.
Really? Whose card?
His.
Yeah, I'm going to say. You'll order it. You pay the delivery fee.
Yeah, I'll get it. Delivery? Mate, I'm in the sticks. We don't deliver. They don't deliver around here, bud. We don't get Uber Eats and all this fancy other gump. We got to go and get it ourselves. You know what I mean?
Don't get fibre optic either.
No, we don't get fibre optic. I think people are aware of that. I have moaned about it continuously.
Brilliant. Anyway, enjoy. I don't even know what Parfitt gets from Mackey's.
I don't know,
treat
mate.
yourself, mate. Get a big tasty or something.
Yeah, well, he works there, so he gets free meals on a daily basis, to be
Does
honest.
he?
Yeah, he works there, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he does. He's been there since he was at college. Been there a while. So, don't get me wrong. He's not short of a few bob, mate, working at McDonald's. I'm not going to be, not going to lie. Right, now we've discussed my son's financial situation. Carl Jacqueline is your winner. Pete Newman in second and John McCutchinson in third. That's your 1, 2, 3 of the podium. Adam Dalmon in fourth. Edward Parfitt takes his first win ever in the Clios in the AMS with Carl Hardy in sixth. Roger Morton and Andy Littler round out the top 3 of the AMS. Kellerman and Demo, 9th and 10th with David Ayres, Ollie Ricks, Jack Andrews, Gary Walsh, Chris Dixon, to Alan Toon, Dan Lewis and Adam McNally in 18th place. And then I'm going to probably guess Michael Seal and Craig Jones. So a great job there as well from some people. What an incredible race. Race 3 was there, Zach. Can't beat that.
You can't. Peak, right? And once again, these guys, they rise to the standard they set themselves each week. You know, it's getting better and better. And the racing is better. People are improving as well, which is also a good thing. You know, look at the start of the season with Edward Parfitt being very raw and you know, still learning. And then now he's just taken a down win, showcasing a very mature drive. We're seeing those improvements. We're seeing those developments from drivers. And we're continuing to see a consistent run of form from our top guys in both the AMs and in the pros. Pete Newman, though, the best of the bunch as it stands. Someone needs to match him. Someone needs to find something to improve. Adam Dunmont's close, but he still needs that little bit more. But bring on the rest of the season.
An absolutely stellar job there. Handsome Stew, if you go to KFC, he can have gravy. What sort of gravy is your boy? He's a bit rough around the edges, so he's probably Bisto. You know what I mean? He's Pastor Morrison's own brand, and he's probably just a little bit more Bisto. Don't you think? Bisto? Does Bisto work? Does that middle brand?
Sure.
I think it does as well. I'll tell you what we are going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have a chat with the winner of race 3. His first win of the season. I'm not entirely sure if it's his first win ever, actually, as I try and think back to the previous season, but I know it's the first win his season. Mr. Carl Jacklett, from green lights to the checkered flag. Stellar job. Welcome in, Carl.
Yeah, what happened? That setup burnt the tyres out in the first race. I was sat close behind Carl Hardy, and the tyres just gave up at halfway. So I changed setup for race 2, and well, that just went bad. So I went back to it and was nursing the tyres. I was really looking after them. The heart was pounding and everything, but no, held it together and very, very pleased with that. Yeah, it's first race win in the Clios.
It is. It is. But you did it. Did you get the shaky leg time? Did you get the whole, oh, I'm in the lead. I'm in the lead. Did you get it, Carl? Come on.
No.
Oh.
No, I didn't. The meds are working well. Yeah. No.
Oh, all right then. But it was good though, right? You've enjoyed yourselves. You always enjoy yourself in the Clios.
I do. I love the car. Absolutely love it. I did a fair bit of setup work on the old version of the track before we changed it. And that setup was the one I was running, and it was really, really kind on tyres. But on this one, it was rather eating them up. So not quite sure why that was. But no, I really enjoyed that. It was epic.
Epic stuff. Well, Carl, your first win in the Clios this season. I think your first ever win ever. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
I'm going to give a big shout out to everyone who's driving in this league. They're all doing a great job. We got some new guys in it. I forget the guy's name is Jack, isn't
Jack,
it?
yeah.
Absolutely amazing job he's done. He's not been driving very long at all, and he's going to be a talent, I'm sure. But yeah, everyone in the league.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, it's the drivers in the league that make it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has been a stellar season here as well. Carl, thank you so much for joining us, Bud. Look forward to speaking to you further down in the season.
Yeah. Going to try and get some sleep now.
Yeah, go to bed, mate. You'll be fine. Go to bed.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
bud. Take care, mate.
Yeah, see you next week.
All right,
ciao.
Bye. Now we're going to have a chat before we get into the hounds. We're going to have a chat with John McHutchinson. 2 podiums this evening in race 2 and race 3. He had a bit of a disaster in 1. He spun more times than a ballerina in Swan Lake. But let's welcome him in, John McHutchinson. John, how are you, bud?
I'm good, James. I was pushed in race 1.
Oh, John, I saw you do it all on his own in turn 5. Give over.
Yeah. When Adam turned in on me, I was kind of getting into turn 5, and I'm thinking, was it my fault? Was it my fault? And then I missed the breaking point and just ran wide. But Adam apologised. I said he turned in on me, so which is the way I saw it. So, no, really good though.
Yeah, but made up for it in race 2 and 3, mate. Double podiums. That's not bad at all.
Not bad for an old guy. Can still cut it with the kids.
Oh yeah, you've got some raw talent coming through behind you here, mate. You know what I mean? It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, Mini Me was put up a bit of a fight tonight.
Yeah, he did. We did say to him as well, you know, like we did say on the broadcast, whether or not it would make more sense to fight or just let you go, to be fair. And he probably made the right choice with you and Adam Delmont. I'm not saying last season he would have scrapped you to high heaven, John, to be honest, but he did a good job tonight. But, you know, going forward for yourself, though, I tell you what, you can, all right, race 1, yeah, bit of a disaster. We can safely say that. Race 2, race 3, coming up through the field as well. Race 3, you gained 10 places, John. That's not bad at all.
The racecraft's there. I've got the racecraft. That's not an issue. It's just the slow corners. I seem to go into the slow corners too quick, and then I'm really slow out. I still drive it like a radical. You know, and I'm still learning, so getting there.
How you finding the Clios? Because it is, you're literally you're like, I think 3 rounds in, I think. So how are you finding them in general?
It's fun we car to drive. You know, that you just you've got to keep the momentum up. You know, if you slow down or understeer, you lose a hell of a lot of speed. So it's just like I say, it's a learning curve for me. It's the first front wheel drive I've driven in any sort of racing game, and it has a huge difference. So getting there.
Yeah, apologies there if anyone got offended by the fact that John just called it a racing game. As well. Hey, I've got to put it out there, John, because otherwise I'll get flying DMs. John called it a game. Yes,
That's a game.
It is a game. I agree with you.
Game.
But let's not shout it out, John. Otherwise, I'm going to find myself in trouble. Anyone, John, as per normal, there, bud. Do you want to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to you guys tonight. Your broadcasts are all really good. Watched a few through the week here.
Good job, bud. Well, thank you so much, John, for joining us, and look forward to chatting to you as the season goes on, mate.
Thanks, James.
Take care.
Cheers, pal. Bye.
Right, now we are going to bring in the young man who took a podium in the AMS in his very first league race here. He is 16. He's been on iRacing for literally 7 days. Being caught up in a few incidents tonight as well, but he did have a smashing race. Let's speak to Jack Andrews here in the booth. Jack, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. How was it, Jack? Because you had an up and down race 1, you had a great race 2, and then a tough race 3 with David Ayres.
Yeah, race 1. Qualifying wasn't great. I was expecting to qualify a few places higher, but it wasn't awful. And then lap 2, I ended up getting damaged, so I had to box. And then on the exit of the pits, I accidentally ran wide, so I had to drive through. I just got all caught up in a big mess with myself. Race 2, kept it clean, felt good. And then race 3, a little bit of contact. Completely accidental, and then I actually got a little bit of suspension damage, but overall it felt good, yeah.
How did you find it, Jack? Because literally, let's be real, right? You have been on iRacing about a week, is that not right? Jack? Jack, if you're on push to talk, you need to push the button.
No, you just cut out for me.
Oh, okay. You've been on iRacing about a week there, young sir. You know, how you been finding it?
Yeah, it's been fun. Adjusting to different types of cars, so it's been an experience to remember so far.
Well, that's always good as well, and one that, you know, is going to take you forward. Let's get the question out there, though. Did you enjoy your first league race?
I did enjoy it, yeah.
Awesome stuff. Well, Jack, thank you so much for joining me, bud. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot now, Jack. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
My mum for meeting Carl.
Okay. Is that any particular reason, or the fact that Carl's just got you into sim racing?
Well, he's got me into sim racing and iRacing, so.
Oh, good. Not the fact that he loves your mum or anything like that. He just got you into sim racing. Well done, Jack. Thank you so much for that one, bud. And we look forward to chatting to you soon, mate.
Yep, see you later.
See you later. Right. We want to all hear from Mini-Me. Well, I tell you what then, as you all have wanted...
I've been stolen away.
Hello, as you all want to hear from Mini-Me here as well. YouTube have been asking for you in chat. He takes his first win in the Clios in race 3. He's going to buy everyone McDonald's in the house tonight to celebrate as well. Edward Parfitt, welcome into the booth, son. How are you?
I'm okay, Dad. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Not bad. Proud as punch at the moment, mate. Sitting you watching you win race 3 in the AMS.
Yeah, no, it was stressful. I mean, the whole situation with Dan Lewis is a bit confusing going into the hairpin. Because obviously where he just disappeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, Dan had software issues.
Yeah, we know. It was a shame though, because the whole plan for us two was for him to go off and do his thing, and I was going to sit at the back and be background for him.
All right, okay. You know, look, not going to lie, we'll have a chat about it. You're probably going to hate me for this, but last season, obviously, it was a bit rough, right? You know, you had to get the slipper a few times from Dad. This season, you've been improving a hell of a lot. You've been doing a great job as well. Shame we haven't got decent internet in the house. That might actually stop you blinking around a lot. But overall, how's the season been for you? Because you've had a stellar job, had a great start to the season. You know, you're winning the team championships with Dan Lewis as well. What's the plan for this season?
I'm trying to see if I can stay as consistent as I can. Might try and go for the championship if there's a possibility. I'll just have to see how many points I am behind.
Yeah, as well. Well, it's going to be very exciting to see there as well. Handsome Stu, I hope you're happy. We have heard from Mini Me, who's going to get up, get some slippers on and go down to McDonald's and celebrate and buy the house a nice, big, tasty. Edward, thank you so much for joining your dad in the booth, young sir. Is there anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Just to everyone in there, honestly, and you guys for hosting the league. It's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's great.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, it's just fun racing. Yeah.
Get your shoes on, boys. He's getting your Mackies, definitely. So, there you go. Edward, thank you so much for joining me there, bud. And, well, I'll speak to you when I finish.
Yep.
See you later, mate.
Yeah.
Oh boy, is it always so weird when you are interviewing your son. But the final race, the final interviewee of the evening, Mr. Chris Dixon here. Chris, how are you, young sir? Chris?
Hello.
Hello, how are you? I am here. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
How's the racing
really
been?
Enjoyed tonight. Found a bit of pace, I think, from qualifying in the race. I found about a second, so I could stick with them a little bit and have a good race and defend. I think the second race was fun. So there was a few behind me. But, yeah, enjoyed it.
How's it been for you? How's the season been? How's the improvement from last season? You know, how's it been overall this season? Are you feeling like you're improving? Are you feeling like you're getting quicker? Are we going to see you challenging up for the AM podium by the end of the season?
Maybe not by the end of this season, but next season I'm looking at getting some new pedals and wheel, and hopefully that'll help, and we'll see. But I'm going to miss a few rounds at the end of the season because I've taken the kids over to Disneyland.
Woo!
So,
what,
yeah,
Florida?
So that will be, yeah. Disney World, sorry, not Disneyland.
Oh, where's Disney? Is that the one in Florida?
Disneyland's, yeah, Disney World's Florida. So yeah, we're off over there for 3.5 weeks.
Oh man!
So I will miss a couple of weeks at least. I'm going to try and find somewhere out there to jump on, but just depends if I can find somewhere.
Do not do that because that will be divorced by the wife, right? You know,
I'm already going through a divorce, so that doesn't matter.
Oh well, there you go. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, don't get yourself caught up just for me, Chris. All the racing here, bud. I know you enjoy it, but blimey, go and enjoy your holiday. I'm just upset I didn't get a blinking invite. Right, Chris, thank you so much for joining me, bud. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, just all the lads in the results and Edward and the lads have helped me there and really took about a second off my pace. So yeah, I'll thank them and obviously yourselves for putting the broadcast out and bringing us all together just so we can race.
Well, it has been great, Chris. Thank you so much there, bud, and look forward to you seeing your improvements as the season goes on.
Thanks.
Well, Zach, there you go. Another night of Clios brought to the end. We've seen a newcomer take a podium. We've seen Carl Jacklett get his first win ever. We've seen Edward Parfitt get his first win in the AMS ever. Jack Andrews, 16, first podium as well in race 2. Hutch with his double podium this evening. There's been a lot happening tonight.
There has been. So many milestones reached, all within the first half of the season, and we've still got half of it to go. So, yeah, bring it on. Let's smash it out. Let's see what the championship's got in store, and let's see if there's any more surprises that sort of tune themselves in over the course of the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I've been loving it. Again, it's just part of my Monday routine at this point, and yeah, again, just I can't wait to see what the future has in store. We've got so many great tracks lined up, and well, so many motivated drivers raring to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree there as well, Zach. And it's been a great evening of racing. I'm going to go and give my boy a little pat on the head for winning his first AM race as well. I might have to have a chat about his interview techniques, though, because it was a little bit, a little bit weird. Bless him. You know what I mean, Zach? He is being interviewed by his dad.
Training.
Yeah, he is being interviewed by his dad, though.
That is true. That does make it a little bit more awkward.
Yeah, because
you're trying to be professional, but it's like when you're like, you have a relative is like a teacher at school or something like that. Similar vein.
Yeah.
You got to be all professional around them, but you can't be.
I agree. It's going to be tough, but I'm sure he'll be all right. So thank you so much to everybody that's joined me here as well. Handsome Stu, Phil, Ria, Mikey Pollard. I'm sure I missed somebody actually. There was somebody I didn't see as well, and obviously Adam Dalmont jumped in at the end. But that's going to bring it to an end here, guys, as well. From myself, James Parfitt, and Zach Sweeney. Don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the bells, and share it if you want to, because tomorrow night we've got the UK Sim Racers Radicals from the Red Bull Ring, and you do not want to miss that. But for now, guys, take care, have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.